question that never dies. Have you got one? Or 2 or 10? You've probably seen them everywhere. Glimmering shelves lined with amethyst, rose quartz, obsidian, selenite. People hold them in their palms, wear them around their necks, tuck them under pillows at night. And you've probably wondered, do crystals really work? It's the question that refuses to die. It flickers through every generation, from ancient priests to TikTok trends, a spark of curiosity that won't stay buried. Because somewhere deep inside, we all remember that the earth itself hums with energy, and crystals are her heartbeat made visible. But let's be honest, in a world that worships proof, belief in crystals sounds almost absurd. Magic rocks, they say? We're taught that if science can't measure it, it isn't real. Yet the irony is, science measures crystals every single day. Look at your wristwatch, ticking perfectly in rhythm. Look at your smartphone, holding infinite data in a chip the size of your fingernail. Both run on quartz. That same clear crystal sitting on your altar is the reason your technology works. Not belief, physics. So how did something once used to power civilizations become dismissed as superstition? To answer that, we have to go back, way back, to the first humans who ever picked up a stone and felt something. Before language, before scripture, before the word energy even existed, there was knowing. People lived close to the land. They could sense when the rain was coming, when animals were near, when the stars were speaking. They didn't separate spirit from science. It was one song, and the earth sang the melody. Imagine one of those ancestors, crouched by a riverbank. They reach down and pull from the water a translucent stone that glows in sunlight. It hums faintly in their palm. They can't explain why, but it feels alive, protective. They carry it with them into battle, into birth, into death. That small crystal becomes a bridge between the visible and the invisible. Over time, these stones found their way into sacred rituals across every continent. The Egyptians carved lapis lazuli into the eye of Horus to awaken the third eye. The Sumerians ground malachite into powder to heal infections. The Chinese emperors buried themselves in jade armor, believing it would preserve their life force forever. And indigenous shamans in the Americas placed obsidian blades into the fire to see visions beyond time. Different lands, different languages. Same truth. Stones remember. They hold memory the way our hearts hold music. They vibrate at frequencies stable enough to outlast empires. To ancient healers, that made them perfect translators between human emotion and cosmic rhythm. So how did that ancient knowing fade? How did something revered for millennia become labeled woo-woo? The answer lies in what we call the forgetting. As civilization industrialized, we stopped listening to the earth and started mining her instead. We took her bones, her crystals, not as teachers but as tools. Quartz went from sacred to silicon, from altar to algorithm. And the moment we put it inside a machine, we forgot it had once lived inside the soul. Now, in this modern age, people laugh at the idea of crystals carrying energy, while holding in their hand a smartphone powered by a crystal oscillator. That's not irony, that's amnesia. Because here's the secret. Every crystal vibrates at a constant frequency. That's why quartz keeps perfect time. It translates pressure into electrical current, and electrical current back into vibration. It's called the piezoelectric effect, and it's the backbone of modern communication. When your phone transmits a signal across the world, it's because quartz is converting vibration into information. When your computer processes thought into sound, image, or word, it's because of crystalline silicon conducting data. So when someone says, crystals don't do anything, I ask them, then how are you speaking to me right now? It's not that crystals stopped working. It's that we stopped remembering what they're truly capable of. Maybe they're not here to grant wishes or make money fall from the sky. Maybe they're reminders that everything vibrates, that energy responds to intention, and that the same frequency that powers your heart can awaken the stones beneath your feet. Because when you hold a crystal, you're not holding superstition. You're holding the compressed memory of the universe, minerals forged in the womb of stars, shaped by the planet's magnetic song, older than language, older than humanity itself. And when you set an intention with that crystal, you're not performing magic. You're syncing your energy field to a pattern that's been stable for millions of years. That is resonance. That is science. That is remembrance. So do crystals really work? Maybe the better question is, when did we stop working with them? Stay with me as we are digging deep into crystal history. Long before cathedrals rose or scriptures were inked, there were circles of stone. Men and women gathered around firelight, their shadows flickering across cave walls, listening to the voice of the earth. They didn't pray to nature, they prayed with her. Every culture on earth tells some version of the same story, that stones were alive. That certain mountains could speak, certain caves could heal, and certain crystals could sing. The first shamans weren't scientists or priests, they were translators, listening to the pulse of creation through the bones of the planet. Archaeologists have found crystals buried beside the dead in graves older than written language. Amber beads placed near the heart. Obsidian blades arranged around the skull. It wasn't decoration. It was navigation. A map for the soul's return. Because to them, death wasn't an ending. It was a frequency shift. And crystals, they believed, could guide that transition, like lighthouses built from Earth's own light. In Mesopotamia, healers crushed lapis lazuli into powders and mixed it with oils to anoint the temples of kings. They said the stone held the voice of the gods, truth condensed into blue. In Egypt, high priests wore bands of turquoise and carnelian during ritual, believing the stones amplified divine communication. Even the word pharaoh once meant great house of light. Every temple was designed around resonance, walls of granite and quartz to amplify the chant of thousands. To them, sound and stone were one instrument. Across the world in China, the story was the same in another language. Jade, the stone of heaven, was said to house pure qi. It symbolized immortality, not because it lasted, but because it never decayed energetically. It was the mineral mirror of virtue, clarity, compassion, stillness. To wear jade wasn't fashion, it was spiritual hygiene. Meanwhile, in the Americas, the shamans of the Andes used obsidian mirrors to gaze into other realms. They believed the stone's darkness wasn't absence of light. It was the womb of creation. In its glossy surface, they could see spirits, ancestors, even glimpses of what was yet to come. Their rituals weren't primitive, they were quantum. Everywhere we look, ancient hands reached for the same materials: quartz, jade, obsidian, amber, turquoise, long before global trade or shared religion. How did they all know? How did civilizations separated by oceans choose the same stones, the same geometry, the same belief that crystals connected worlds? Maybe the earth was teaching directly. Maybe the minerals whispered to those who could still hear. The first shamans treated stones as teachers. They would sit for days beside a mountain crystal, fasting, listening, feeling its hum. They said each crystal had a personality, some fierce, some gentle, some ancient beyond measure. They didn't program the stones, they befriended them. Energy met energy, frequency met frequency. That was the original relationship. There's a forgotten term in many indigenous languages that means to dream with the earth. It described a state where a person and a place shared the same heartbeat. In that rhythm, healing happened. Plants spoke, water answered, and crystals glowed faintly in moonlight, responding to emotion like tuning forks to song. Today we call it superstition. Back then, it was survival. Because to live in balance with the elements wasn't philosophy, it was physics. The tribes who could sense vibration lived longer, migrated safely, and healed faster. Energy awareness was evolution. The more we study ancient ruins, the clearer this becomes. At Stonehenge, the blue stones at the center contain dolerite, a crystal-rich rock that rings when struck, like a bell. At the pyramids of Giza, scientists have measured electromagnetic resonance along the king's chamber, amplified by granite lined with quartz. And in the temples of India, the floors were embedded with black tourmaline to ground excess energy during ritual. These weren't coincidences. They were frequency engineering. Somewhere along the line, this knowledge was hidden, or maybe protected, as humanity drifted into forgetfulness. But traces remain in myth. The 12 stones of Aaron's breastplate, the emerald tablet of Thoth, the crystal skulls of Mesoamerica. Each legend whispers the same truth. The earth built libraries out of light. When we hold a crystal today, we're touching one page of that library, a page written in vibration, not ink. Our ancestors didn't need microscopes or machines. They felt the story through intuition, ceremony, and trust. So when modern minds scoff and say, "There's no proof," I smile. Because the proof was never meant to be seen under a lens. It was meant to be felt through the heart field. The ancients knew that the human body is a tuning system. 70% crystalline water, electrically alive, capable of resonating with anything coherent enough to sing back. That's why they used crystals in healing, not to replace the divine, but to remind us of it. When a healer placed a stone over a wound, it wasn't just pressure or placebo. It was a message, remember harmony. When a priest wore gemstones on his chest before entering the temple, it wasn't vanity, it was calibration. A way to align his frequency with the frequency of the divine before speaking the sacred name. We lost that language when we began to worship intellect over instinct. But languages can be remembered. And when you sit quietly with a crystal, when you breathe and listen, you start to feel that subtle pulse again. It's faint at first, like hearing the ocean through a shell. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it. You realize the shamans weren't naive. They were fluent. There are stories that live in our collective memory, half history, half myth, because they hold a code. The Ark of the Covenant is one of them. It's described as a golden chest, built to exact mathematical precision, said to house the presence of God himself. But beneath the poetry lies technology. The Ark wasn't a symbol, it was a frequency device. In Exodus 28, the high priest Aaron is commanded to wear a vestment, the breastplate of judgment, set with 12 gemstones, each representing a tribe of Israel. Sardius, topaz, emerald, turquoise, sapphire, diamond, jacinthite, agate, amethyst, beryl, onyx, jasper. 12 frequencies, 12 tribes, 12 harmonics of divine order. And when the priest entered the Holy of Holies, the chamber where the Ark was kept, he did so clothed in crystalline resonance. The ancients didn't separate science from spirit. They knew that minerals hold stable vibrations, that gold amplifies conductivity, and that sound could awaken divine presence. The Ark, layered in acacia wood and pure gold, functioned like a capacitor, storing and discharging electromagnetic energy. When it was carried, lightning followed. When opened improperly, people died instantly. What religion calls God's wrath, physics might call an energy surge. Imagine what it would feel like. Standing near a device humming with an electrical charge strong enough to alter consciousness. To the untrained, it was deadly. To the initiated, it was revelation. And the priest, wrapped in gemstones, wasn't there for decoration. He was grounding the field. Each stone acted as a frequency stabilizer, absorbing excess charge, translating divine energy into something human bodies could withstand. In other words, the jewels were an ancient form of insulation, a harmonic shield. If that sounds far-fetched, look deeper. Cultures across the world built similar resonance chambers. The pyramids of Giza, constructed from limestone and granite rich in quartz, are positioned with millimetric accuracy to true north. Granite is piezoelectric. When compressed or struck by vibration, it generates an electric field. Every chant, every drumbeat, every tone resonated through those walls, converting sound into current. The entire temple was an instrument. The same pattern appears in Machu Picchu, Angkor Wat, Stonehenge, and Göbekli Tepe, sacred sites aligned to celestial geometry and built from crystalline stone. These weren't random choices. They were engineered for frequency interaction between the earth, the stars, and the human biofield. We forget that architecture once meant the art of tuning space. Temples were not built to be visited. They were built to be felt. Ancient builders understood what modern physicists are only beginning to rediscover. That matter is not solid, but vibrating energy. And that vibration can be shaped, directed, and amplified. Inside the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid, frequencies of 432 Hz and 8 Hz have been recorded, both harmonics of the Earth's natural Schumann resonance. That means the pyramid itself hums in rhythm with the planet's heartbeat. It's not superstition, it's acoustics. And it may explain why people who meditate there describe sensations of weightlessness, time distortion, even visions. It's resonance, amplified consciousness. The Ark of the Covenant, the pyramid chambers, the jeweled breastplate, all tell the same story in different dialects. That divine communication was once an energetic process, not just a spoken one. Humans acted as translators, biological antennas bridging heaven and earth. Over time, these practices were hidden behind metaphor, ritual, and fear. Knowledge became religion, science became heresy, and the language of resonance was locked away. But traces remain, like fingerprints on ancient stone. In Tibet, monks still carve mantras into quartz-filled rock, believing the stone remembers the sound. In India, sacred idols are made from Navaratna, 9 specific gemstones said to balance cosmic energy. In indigenous North America, medicine wheels align with magnetite deposits, the same mineral used in modern navigation. Everywhere, the same pattern emerges: crystal, alignment, intention. Even the Christian cathedrals of Europe carried forward the code. Their rose windows, perfect mandalas of colored glass, were designed not only to tell stories, but to refract light into the same spectrum as the 12 stones of Aaron's breastplate. When sunlight passed through, the entire nave glowed with living frequency. To stand beneath it was to stand inside a prism of prayer. So maybe the ark wasn't just a relic. Maybe it was a prototype, a portable temple of resonance built to stabilize divine communication, a meeting point between heaven's current and human conductivity. And here's the paradox. While the modern world mocks these stories as mythology, we now build our own arks, satellites, quantum computers, reactors, powered by the same elemental forces. We've rediscovered the current, but not the consciousness. The ancients didn't just seek energy. They sought harmony. Their power came from alignment, not extraction. They understood that the universe responds not to domination, but to rhythm. So when the priest stood before the ark wearing his jeweled vest, he wasn't performing superstition. He was attuning his heart. He became the conductor, and the divine, through the resonance of stone, metal and intention, could finally be heard. That's the forgotten science of the sacred. Not fantasy, not miracle. Frequency. Stay with me, because next, we'll move from temples to technology, tracing how the same principles reappeared in modern science. Quartz watches, silicon chips, and the living electricity of the human heart. When lightning strikes the ground, it doesn't just burn, it awakens. That flash of energy surges through soil, minerals, and stone, charging everything it touches. And deep beneath the surface, in the stillness of pressure and time, the earth responds. She grows crystals. Every crystal begins as electricity trapped in matter. Atoms arrange into sacred geometry, a perfect lattice that hums with order. Each angle, each line, each repeating pattern is the universe's attempt to speak in form. Crystals are what happens when chaos remembers itself as light. The ancients felt that truth in their bones. Today, science proves it with instruments. Because the Earth, it turns out, is electric, a living circuit with its own magnetic pulse. Every storm, every fault line, every heartbeat of the planet generates current. And those currents shape the growth of crystals, turning minerals into memory keepers. That's not poetry, it's geophysics. Quartz, the most abundant crystal on Earth, is piezoelectric, meaning it converts pressure into electricity, and electricity into vibration. It's nature's battery. Squeeze it and it sings. That vibration is so precise that scientists built our time around it. Your wristwatch? It keeps perfect time because a tiny slice of quartz inside it vibrates 32,768 times per second. Your phone, your GPS, your computer, all powered by the same principle. Even the brain of every AI system, every silicon chip, is made from purified quartz. Crystals run the modern world. They are the silent heartbeat inside every piece of technology you touch. So when someone says crystals don't do anything, the truth is they already run your life. But here's the irony. Ancient wisdom and modern science are describing the same law from opposite ends. One called it spirit, the other calls it frequency. And both agree on one thing: energy responds to order. In physics, that order is known as coherence, when waves move in harmony, amplifying each other. In spirituality, it's called alignment, when body, mind, and soul vibrate as one. Different words, same phenomenon. When the ancients built temples from granite and quartz, they were building coherence chambers. When we build data centers and microchips from silicon, we're doing the same. We just forgot the ceremony. Even our own bodies mirror this design. Every cell membrane in your body conducts electricity. Your bones are crystalline calcium phosphate. Your blood carries iron, a conductor. Your brain radiates measurable frequency. And your heart is the most powerful electrical generator you possess. The HeartMath Institute discovered that the heart's electromagnetic field extends up to 3 meters beyond the body, and it changes depending on emotion. When you feel love or gratitude, your heartbeat forms smooth, harmonious waves. When you feel fear or anger, the waves become jagged and chaotic. In simple terms, your emotional state changes your frequency, and that frequency interacts with everything around you. Now combine that with a crystal, a structure built to hold stable vibration, and you have resonance. Your energy imprints onto the crystal lattice the same way a song imprints onto a vinyl record. That's not belief, that's physics. Your emotion becomes a frequency pattern, and the crystal remembers it. So when someone says their rose quartz helps them feel love, or their obsidian protects them from negativity, what they're really describing is energetic entrainment. The crystal isn't doing something to them. It's holding a pattern that invites their energy to match it. The same principle powers your phone's GPS, your laptop's processor, even your radio. Two frequencies meet, stabilize, and share information. Resonance creates communication. And the moment you understand that, the line between science and spirit dissolves. Let's go even deeper. Inside your cells are tiny crystals of a protein called microtubulin. Some scientists believe these act as quantum resonators, meaning your very consciousness might depend on crystalline coherence. If that's true, then crystals aren't outside of you. They're inside you, woven into the structure of your awareness itself. Maybe that's why people instinctively reach for them, not because they're new age, but because they're ancient memory. A part of us recognizes that hum, like a tuning fork calling us home. In the old world, the high priest wore gemstones to communicate with the divine. In the new world, we wear quartz around our wrists to communicate with satellites. The technology evolved, the principle never changed. But here's where it gets truly mystical. Even the Earth herself is alive with this current. The planet vibrates at a baseline frequency known as the Schumann resonance, about 7.83 Hertz. That's almost identical to the frequency of a calm human brain in meditation. Coincidence? Or coherence? When we meditate, pray, or enter deep presence, our brainwaves sync to the same rhythm as the earth. That's why ancient rituals always began barefoot on the ground, hands on stone, hearts aligned. They were tuning into the planet's heartbeat. And crystals, being part of her body, were the instruments that carried that rhythm. In truth, everything we build, touch, and feel is part of that electric web. The thunder overhead, the spark between two hearts, the pulse of data through fiber optics, it's all one system. The Earth is not a rock orbiting the sun. She's a living conductor, a breathing frequency, a symphony of light in physical form. So when you hold a crystal and feel warmth, tingling, or calm, you're not imagining it. You're feeling coherence. You're syncing your field to the Earth's electric soul. And maybe that's what healing really is. Not fixing what's broken, but remembering the rhythm that was always there. The resonance of belief. Stay right here as we go deeper. We'll explore how consciousness itself programs energy, how thoughts, emotion, and intention interact with frequency, and why your belief is the final amplifier. Energy is neutral. It has no agenda, no morality, no preference. It simply responds to coherence. And the greatest generator of coherence a human being possesses is belief. Belief is not thought. Thoughts flutter and fade. Belief roots itself in frequency. It's the vibration beneath the words you say, the quiet hum of what you truly expect. That hum shapes reality. Modern science calls it observer effect. Particles behave differently when they are watched. Quantum physics admits what mystics have always whispered. Consciousness participates in creation. Every measurement, every observation subtly bends the outcome toward expectation. In other words, reality listens. That's why two people can hold the same crystal and feel two entirely different things. The stone mirrors the one who holds it. It doesn't impose power, it amplifies intention. You are the frequency generator. The crystal is the stabilizer. When you infuse a crystal with trust, protection, or love, you are imprinting an electromagnetic pattern onto its lattice. Each atom rearranges slightly, storing that command like a song recorded into vinyl. And when you touch it later, that song plays back into your field, a feedback loop between matter and mind. Heart math studies prove this isn't metaphor. When subjects focus on gratitude or compassion, their electromagnetic fields become coherent and extend far beyond the body. Nearby sensors, even living tissue, begin to entrain to that same pattern. Emotion is contagious because it's electrical. Your belief radiates. So what happens when you hold a crystal while radiating belief? You create a resonant circuit, human and mineral, oscillating in harmony, amplifying each other's signal. That's why rituals matter. They train the mind to focus energy deliberately. The candle, the incense, the chant, they're not superstition. They're signal boosters. Ancient healers knew this instinctively. Before tending the sick, they would center their mind, steady their breath, and align emotion with outcome. Only then did they reach for the stone or herb, because they understood the hierarchy of healing: intention, emotion, frequency, form. Modern psychology touches the same truth through the placebo effect. People given sugar pills often heal simply because they expect to. Their bodies respond to belief as though it were medicine. If belief can rewrite biology, why couldn't it also charge quartz? Yet belief has a shadow. When rooted in fear, it becomes interference. Doubt scrambles the signal. That's why rituals of cleansing exist. Not because crystals get dirty, but because we do. We cloud them with incoherence. Washing a stone in water or smoke isn't magic. It's a physical act that resets the mind to neutrality. The moment you believe it's cleared, it is. Everything depends on the vibrational field of the observer. That's why monks bless water, and it changes structure under a microscope. That's why music tuned to 432 Hz feels calmer than at 440 Hz. And that's why your energy can shift a room the instant you walk in. Belief is the steering wheel of frequency. Where focus goes, current flows. In laboratories studying quantum entanglement, two photons separated by miles still mirror each other instantly. Distance doesn't weaken connection, incoherence does. When your belief is steady, your influence extends far beyond what logic can explain. Prayer, intention, love. These are not metaphors for light. They are light, organized by consciousness. So imagine what happens when millions of hearts hold one belief at once. Earth's magnetic field actually shifts, measured by satellites during global meditations and mass prayer events. The planet listens. Your heartbeat is part of a larger song. Now return to the crystal in your palm. It doesn't heal you, it reminds you. It gives your mind something tangible to anchor invisible work. When you say, "This stone protects me," you are broadcasting that frequency through your biofield. The crystal stabilizes it, like a tuning fork ensuring the note stays pure. Faith is the current, crystal is the conductor. That's why every sacred system, from Christianity to Buddhism to shamanism, uses objects of faith: crosses, malas, feathers, stones. Not to idolize matter, but to focus consciousness. The object is the doorway. Belief is the key. And when both align, the universe answers. Because belief isn't wishful thinking. It's energetic consent. It tells the field, "This is the reality I choose." The moment you choose fully, the lattice of probability shifts. Miracles are simply physics obeying certainty. So the next time someone asks if crystals work, smile gently. Tell them they work as deeply as you believe in them. Because the truth is, nothing in this universe is static. Everything vibrates to the rhythm of its own conviction. You, me, the earth, the stars, all held together by one unseen law. Frequency follows faith. Stay with as we go from sacred to trend. We'll explore how the modern world commercialized this ancient wisdom, how the essence was lost in glitter and marketing, and how the return to truth is already beginning. There was a time when crystals were treated as holy instruments, guarded, consecrated, awakened only through ceremony. Now they're wrapped in plastic, stacked under LED lights, sold 3 for $10 at the checkout aisle. Somewhere along the path from temple to TikTok, the sacred became aesthetic. The story began innocently enough. In the 1960s and 70s, as people rebelled against rigid religion and industrial monotony, they turned back to nature for meaning. They felt instinctively that the old world had rhythm the new one lacked, and crystals glittering with memory became symbols of that return. But capitalism moves faster than consciousness. By the 1980s, stones once used for prayer were being mined by the ton for decoration. Jade lost its ritual. Amethyst lost its name. The world started calling it self-care. Don't mistake this for cynicism. Even through the commercialization, something beautiful survived. The pull. People didn't buy crystals only for fashion. They bought them because something in their DNA remembered. Even when meaning was forgotten, the resonance remained. Yet as the shelves filled, the silence emptied. The ceremony disappeared. The intention, the most vital frequency of all, was replaced by consumer desire. Buy more, charge it under the moon. Manifest faster. The sacred act of communion turned into a checklist for productivity. Ancient healers would have smiled sadly. They knew that the stone itself does nothing without relationship. It isn't the amethyst that calms anxiety. It's the conversation between you and it. A crystal on a shelf is dormant until the human heart sings to it. Science mirrors this lesson. A quartz oscillator in a watch is useless until an electrical circuit activates it. Energy needs partnership. It's the same with consciousness. So perhaps this glittering renaissance of crystal culture is not corruption, it's a recall. A chance for the old language to resurface through new eyes. The stones are finding us again, even through neon shopfronts and algorithmic hashtags. Maybe they don't mind how they return, as long as we remember how to listen. Because the real power of a crystal was never about color or rarity, it was about presence. Holding one forced stillness, it asked you to pause, to breathe, to focus your energy on a single vibration. That pause, more than any metaphysical claim, is the seed of transformation. Think about it. When you stop scrolling, hold something from the earth and breathe intentionally, your nervous system resets. Your electromagnetic field steadies. You come back into coherence. That's the miracle. That's the healing everyone's chasing without realizing it. Crystals never stopped working. We just stopped slowing down long enough to meet them halfway. The irony is that modern science, while dismissing metaphysics, quietly continues to prove its foundation. Laboratories are now exploring bioresonance therapy, frequency medicine, and coherent light healing. Hospitals use ultrasound, vibration to mend bone, lasers, focused light to cut with precision, sound, resonance to break kidney stones. Different tools, same law. Vibration transforms matter. What was once ritual has become technology, and yet the goal remains unchanged, to restore harmony where chaos reigns. So maybe the glittery shops, the Instagram grids, even the trend itself are part of evolution. Every soul begins the journey at the surface before diving deep. A rose quartz bracelet bought for beauty can still open the door to self-love. A selenite tower used for decor can still clear a room simply by existing in resonance. The Earth's language doesn't judge motive, it just vibrates truth. But the real awakening happens when the seeker asks, why does this feel good? That question is the spark of remembrance. It leads back to the temples, the shamans, the ark, the electricity of the planet. Back to the understanding that everything is frequency, and frequency is sacred. We are living in the echo of a rediscovery. Crystals are trending because the collective is remembering that the physical world is energetic. That matter listens. That the human body is not separate from the Earth's grid. It is a node in her circuitry. The tragedy would be to stop at the glitter and never reach the glow. To buy the stone and forget the soul. So if you walk into a crystal shop and feel that flicker, that strange calm that rises in your chest, don't dismiss it. That's resonance calling your attention back home. Pick up the one that hums for you. Close your eyes, breathe. Say silently, I remember. Because that single act turns commodity into communion. It resacralizes the forgotten. And that is how the sacred always returns. Not in temples or hieroglyphs, but in the quiet decision to feel again. The fashion will fade as all trends do, but the earth endures, still humming beneath our feet, still growing crystals in the dark, still waiting for humanity to tune back in. Maybe in the end, the crystals allowed themselves to be commercialized just to slip back into our homes, our pockets, our daily touch. They knew we'd find the truth eventually, through curiosity, through beauty, through the shimmer that reminds us of light. Because that's what they are. Fragments of light made solid, messengers of memory disguised as jewelry. And no marketing plan can strip them of that. You are the crystal. The final chapter will bring everything home. How the human body mirrors crystalline structure, how our thoughts refract light, and how remembering this truth transforms everything. There's a moment when you hold a crystal to sunlight where it seems to breathe. Tiny rainbows shimmer inside, light bending, refracting, breaking into color. And if you look closely, you'll see yourself reflected within it. That's not coincidence, that's revelation. Because the truth is this, you are built the same way. Your bones contain crystalline minerals. Your blood carries trace metals that conduct electricity. Your cells vibrate in geometric harmony. You are not separate from the stones. You are their living continuation. When lightning touched the earth and birthed quartz, it also birthed the potential for consciousness. We are the evolution of that same current, Earth's electricity learning to think, feel, and dream. We don't just live on the planet. We are extensions of her crystalline nervous system. Every heartbeat, every thought, every tear contributes to her frequency field. Scientists have proven that human DNA emits biophotons, tiny packets of light. They flicker rhythmically like microscopic lanterns. Those photons carry information, responding to mood and intention. When you meditate, the rhythm slows and becomes coherent, like a crystal vibrating in harmony with itself. Your light becomes clear. That's why ancient mystics described enlightenment as becoming transparent. To be enlightened is not to escape matter, it's to let light pass through you without distortion. To become a living prism, the human body is, in every sense, a biocrystal. Your fascia, the connective tissue that wraps every organ and muscle, is a liquid crystalline matrix. It transmits signals faster than your nerves, translating vibration into sensation. When someone's energy feels off, you don't imagine it. Your crystalline fascia literally registers the discord. You are a sensor of frequency. Water, too, obeys crystalline law. Its molecules arrange in geometric patterns, shifting with emotion. When you speak words of love or anger, the water within you reorganizes accordingly. That's why prayer heals. That's why music can change your mood instantly. Because sound is structure, and structure is memory. So when you hold a crystal in your hand, what's really happening is a mirror moment. The geometry in you recognizes the geometry in it. Two frequencies meeting in remembrance. It's the universe talking to itself through form. That's why the practice was never about worshiping objects. It was about communion, seeing yourself in creation, and creation in yourself. The ancients understood this instinctively. They knew that healing began not with medicine, but with resonance. The shaman, the priestess, a healer, they didn't command energy. They listened to it. They aligned. They let the universe tune through them the way a musician tunes through an instrument. You can still do the same. Sit quietly. Place a stone or even just your palm over your heart. Breathe until you feel that subtle hum inside your chest. That's not imagination. That's your electromagnetic field syncing with your heartbeat. Now whisper an intention, not as a wish, but as truth spoken gently. The moment you speak it, the vibration travels through water, bone, and air. Your body becomes the altar. Crystals have always been teachers, but they were never meant to be masters. They remind us that energy doesn't flow from them to us. It flows through us when we remember how to let it. So many people chase external magic, not realizing the circuitry is already built in. Your spine is a crystal column, your breath the current, your mind the focusing lens. Every thought sends a signal through that network, shaping the field around you. That is manifestation, not fantasy, but physics. When you raise your frequency through gratitude or love, the lattice of your body becomes coherent. Light moves freely, healing accelerates, synchronicities multiply. The world begins to mirror your inner geometry. This is why the spiritual masters spoke in paradox. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The body is the temple. They weren't metaphors, they were blueprints. You are the temple, you are the ark. You are the living crystal through which divinity experiences itself. Even in pain, even in darkness, the lattice remains. Crystals grow in pressure, so do souls. Every heartbreak, every challenge compresses you, not to break you, but to crystallize your light into clarity. That's the secret of alchemy, transformation through pressure. The coal becomes diamond because it endures. Maybe that's what the earth has been trying to tell us all along. That healing isn't about escaping the density of matter. It's about remembering that matter itself is sacred. That vibration, form, and consciousness are one continuous fabric. That even your heartbeat is a planetary rhythm echoing through space. The next time you look at a crystal, see it as a reminder of geometry, of light, of the way truth hides in beauty. Hold it to the sun and whisper, I remember. Because in that moment, the crystal remembers you too. You are not holding magic, you are holding proof. Proof that energy can take form and still remain light. Proof that the divine is not somewhere above the stars, it's pulsing in your veins. And when you live in that awareness, everything changes. You stop chasing frequency and start becoming it. You stop seeking protection and start radiating coherence so strong that nothing misaligned can touch you. You become what the ancients called a clear channel, a human crystal, transparent, strong, luminous. That's the destiny of awakening, not to transcend humanity, but to illuminate it. To stand here, barefoot on the earth, heart open, light refracting through you, and say, I am the memory of the earth made conscious. The stones beneath your feet hum in agreement, the air tingles, and somewhere, in the dark belly of the planet, another crystal forms, pressure becoming beauty, just as you are. Because the story was never about rocks, it was about remembrance, the remembering that continues still. So if anyone doubts what crystals or share this video, comment what your favorite crystal is and why. Mine is amethyst. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a beautiful week. And remember, we don't just find the light, we become the light. This has been Valkyrie. Thanks for stopping by.